morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Kelly. I'm one of the tour guides. So what I did just maximum operation. We are going to start at Malindi Heritage Complex. And then you can see the Malindi Heritage Complex. Okay?
Yes.
That's all. The beauty.
Some of them, some are fun getting.
Oh, just okay. So the beauty was started or was built in 1890s. In 1890s. Okay. So the building was overseen by one of an employer by the name Bell Smith.
Huh?
Bell Smith, who oversees the construction of the Malindi Heritage Complex. Bell Smith It was an employee of the Iberian British East Africa Company. Okay.
Who built? Do you understand English? Who built?
So we are going, as we enter the inside, the building is a two-storied. We have the ground floor and the upper floor. Okay. So in the upper floor, we have the Minjikenda and Dawida exhibitions. And in the ground floor, what we are going to see is about the Swahili exhibitions. Okay. Yeah, so the building was gazetted as a national monument in 1991.
I hope you are taking that information down. I hope you are writing it down. I'll ask you those questions. When was it gazetted?
In 1991 as a national monument, okay? And it was opened to the public in 2013.
Gazetted in which year?
Gazetted as a national monument in 1991. But it was opened to the public in 2013 by the government.
Our past and present, okay? Yeah? It's more of our history and cultures, okay? Alright. So who can tell me when this building was constructed? And for what reason? The Marine Heritage Complex, when was it constructed?
It was constructed in 2013.
No, 2013 is when it was opened to the public, okay?
1990s.
No, not 1990s. 1890s, yes. So this building was constructed in 1890s, okay? By or for who? Yeah, by General Smith oversaw the construction of the building, but it was for the Imperial British East African Company. Okay, so this building was constructed to oversaw their first offices. Okay, Sawa. How many institutions govern this place? How many institutions, or let me rephrase, how many people own this place? Yes? No, the Michitenda did not own the building. So we have three institutions. The first was the company that owned the place.
Right.
Which is? Yeah? The Imperial British East African Company was the first one, yeah? Then the second one was the Sultan of Zanzibar. Okay. Then the third one is now the Kenyan government, which is the National Museums of Kenya, who are currently owning the place, okay, as a national monument. Sawa.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so I'm Robinson. I've been with those other students there. We have come from Vasco da Gama. We are heading to Complex. So I know you are also going to this direction. Okay, so here is a house of column. This building was built, even the day of its construction was not known, but they said that there were some people living inside here, the likes of Arabs. So the pillars, those pillars are called the columns, which the name comes from, the house of column. Then this house, this is the first Malindi hospital. This is where Malindi hospital was before they transported to this place. So this is health center. Then later now this building was now changed to fishery office. At the same time it was fishery office. At the same time marine or KWS office. But nowadays we have KWS has now moved to Marine Bank. Then we have fishery office here, and also we have another one near Vasco da Gama pillar there. So yes, so what is here, the history of this house is that what is here is just a name of a fish or a type of a fish called coelacanth. Coelacanth. So that fish was a very stranger fish that was caught here in Malindi in 2001. So since here was a first fishery office, that fish was brought inside here. So about the story of that fish was not looking like other fish. It was so stranger. So after that, the fisheries catch that fish. Most of them was saying that this is not a fish, this is a fish. But later they now brought that fish to here. So they slaughtered that fish. What was inside is just a type of eggs. It has or that fish. Inside that fish, there were around 17 eggs. So the eggs was so big like this. The eggs was big like this one, like a tennis ball. And that those eggs, they were now fertilized. So that fish, this fertilization was taking place inside. You know, most of the fish, the fertilization is taking place outside. Yes. So they lay eggs, then they now come and fertilize. But this one, for this fish, this fertilization was taking place inside. So that fish was a female fish. Inside it was around 17 eggs. But inside here in the house of color, we still have one egg. I think you will go and see that egg. So about that fish, his features was so scary. Like his body was like black, blue. Yeah, it was a navy blue. You can see it's like looking like black. It's like not black, but it has some dots, the white dots on his body. Again, that fish, it has around 8 pectoral fin. The normal fish, it has 4 fin. It has around 4 pectoral fin. So fins, So the normal fish has 4, but that one fish, the coelacanth, it has around 8. Yeah. Also, when you see the normal fish, his tail is looking like this. Ukiona kwa samaki sio mkia inakaa hivi. Lakini huyo samaki imekuja hivi. Imekuja utana hivi. Kama alafu chini ya mkia yake kuna mkia kidogo tena imekuja huku kama hiyo kwa hiyo samaki. Sasa vile ilikamatwa, watu wengi walikuwa wanaona kama sio samaki. Ndio maana wakaleta huku, wakakuja kupreserve huku. Baadaye ikachinjwa na some part of his body was taken back to Nairobi. They were taken by the scientists. But up to date, we have not catch the fish looking like that fish. The last fish that was caught was South Africa. The same fish that was caught here was caught in South Africa. In the same year, 2001. Yeah, so inside here is the story of that fish, and then upstairs there is a library. We have library there. Yeah, I think that's a short story of this house, the House of Color. So it was first Malindi Hospital. Then those who occupy later, they were fishery office and KWS office. But those people have now moved to different places. It's now museum owned by the National Museum of Kenya. Yeah, so this is another monument, this is another old building in Malindi. Yes? Yeah, sign museum. Kuna ile ngine mumetokea huko ya Dio kitambo, bado hiyo kuna historia ya Mchikenda, Swahili, Kawida. Yeah. Benye munaenda kuna first church in East Africa called Portuguese Chapel. Then you go to Vasco da Gama. So when you come here, Malindi, if you pay here, you will go to those places with the same ticket. Yeah.
From the first one here?
Yeah. when you pay there, you will visit these places using the same ticket. If you are now a visitor or tourist. Yeah. So in Kenya, we charge Kenyans 100. The person is 100, then a child 50 bob. Wasungu wana charge 500. Yeah. 500. Sawa.
Yeah, House of the Quran. Yeah, so the name House of the Quran ilitoka kwa hapo, kuna column hapo mbele nadhani mmeiona ina support the upper floor. Okay. So hiyo nchini ilitoka hapo. Zamani ilikuwa inaitwa House of the Quran. Okay. Zamani ilikuwa the Malindi District Hospital ilikuwa hapa. Okay. But in 1952 after the Malindi Hospital ilijengwa mahali pengine, ndio walitoka hapa. Okay. So after kutoka hapa, walikuja kuoccupy the House of Quran. Walikuwa ni the Fisheries Department office ilikuwa hapa. Okay. So after some time, the Fisheries Department office ilijengwa on the southwards of House of Quran. Nadhani mmesiona siko pale hivi southwards. So walikuja wakahamia wakacha hili. Okay? Sasa baadaye hii ilikuja ikaochukuliwa tena na Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS. Ndio walikuja wakachukua hizi kama sawa. So walikuwa hapa. Okay? Sasa baadaye mwenye alikuwa anaitwa Dr. Richard, alikuwa the director of Kenya Wildlife Service. Alikuja akasema ya kwamba the monument should be handed over to the National Museums of Kenya. Okay? So currently it's being controlled by the National Museums of Kenya. So hapa we have the two different flats. We have the ground floor and the upper floor. Okay? So kuingia kule ndani tutaona kule the ground floor. Tumesema ni exhibits. Mostly utapata most of things in the sea environment. Utapata different types of the exhibits of fish, of lizards, different types of fish utasiona pale ndani of the ground floor. Okay? Sawa? Na tukiingia pale juu yenye iko on the upper floor, tutapata hapo itakuwa ni nimewambia ni web resource center, web library and resource center. Okay? Si unajua chenye kinapatikana kwa library. Yeah, so tutapata kile tutasiona pale pale. Sawa? Sawa, nadhani kama mko na swali tutakuwa tukiendelea kuingia. Hapa mahali tumefika, mnajua kusoma imeandikwa wapi? Portuguese Chapel ama kanisa, mmeona imeandikwa kanisa la Mareno. So hii ilikuwa ni Portuguese, ilikuwa ni kanisa, sawa? Na pia ilikuwa ni graveyards. Ni mahali walizika, because hapa nadhani umesoma. Mwenye alikuwa anaitwa the Francis Xavier alizika is first two sailors wenye walikuwa mabaharia, sawa?
So tukiingia hapa nitaonyesha makaburi yake mahali walizikwa, na pia hapa kulizikwa the first British District Commissioner mwenye niliwaambia kule alioversee the construction of Malindi Heritage Complex, mwenye alikuwa anaitwa Ben Smith. Sawa, so alizikwa hapa, tutaonyesha kaburi yake. Sawa, na pia tutaingia kwa hiyo chapel, hiyo kanisa, na pia ilikuwa ndogo in size. Sawa, small in size. So sababu ilikuwa ni Malindi ilikuwa dominated by the Islamic religion. Sawa, so Christianity walikuwa wanaonekana ni kama hostility. So kulikuwa na that hostility between Islamic and Christian religion. So ndio maana hii tukiingia ndani mtono ilikuwa ni small in size. Sawa.
We said we are on an educational tour, isn't it?
Yes.
We are here to learn. Is that clear?
Yes.
Part of learning is by asking questions. Now this is another last opportunity. Can we keep quiet and listen to our tour guide?
Okay, assalamu alaikum. So welcome to Malindi Museum and welcome to the International Museums Day. We are at one of the sites under the Malindi Historic Circuit, that is the Vasco da Gama Pillar. I hope you are coming from the other museums. Okay. So this is the last point, Vasco da Gama Pillar, and we have taken this initiative of inviting some of the schools in our Malindi sub-county because we are celebrating what we call it International Museums Day. It's being celebrated all over the world. So as museums under the ICOM, International Council of Museums, we are mandated to at least engage the general public about what museums offers. That's why we have invited our schools to celebrate with us and share the information regarding our museums. So we are at the Vasco da Gama Pillar. I think you have heard about the pillar and its information and what it's all about, what Vasco da Gama Pillar means and what concerns us as museums. Vasco da Gama Pillar is part of our heritage. That's why it's under the National Museums of Kenya. So we are here to at least give you the requisite information that will help you when you are back in class, because some of this information, they're really helpful for students like you to at least cope with your studies ahead. So in our sites, inside the Vasco da Gama Pillar, currently there is a construction that is taking place. That's why we want to request you, when we are getting in the sites, tafadhalini, let's make a single file so that we should not disrupt the fundis who are constructing some of the places inside. Na tukiingia huko ndani, we will have Mr. Robinson here, who will be your tour guide at this site, and he will give you information regarding the Vasco da Gama Pillar. Please, as the teacher said, make an effort to listen and make an effort to ask any question concerning the Vasco da Gama Pillar, because we have got the right information and the right history to at least tell you what is Vasco da Gama Pillar and what you students supposed to know regarding the monument. Sawa sawa.
Okay, so nataka niwaeleze about the pillar, about the Vasco da Gama pillar. No, I think we met at the House of Color. So this is another historical site. We have for Vasco da Gama pillar. So Vasco da Gama pillar was built by Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese. Yes, so I was saying that Vasco da Gama was a Portuguese. He was born in 1460 in Portugal. Then in 1497 he was sent to find the sea route to India. So his main reason for Vasco da Gama was to find a sea route to India to connect trade between the Arabs and Europe. So India is in Asian continent, then Portugal is in Europe continent. So Vasco da Gama was sent by a king called King Manuel I to find the sea route to India. So Vasco da Gama came with around 170 people, but later he returned with around 55 people. Most of them died on the way, most of them they were killed. Around 103 was killed, then he returned back with 55 with around 3 sailing ships out of 4 sailing ship. So ile meli kubwa kubwa ilikuwanga 4, lakini baadaye akarudi na 3. Moja ilichomwa kwa sababu watu wengi waliwawa. Sasa hiyo meli ikawa empty, ndio wakaamua kuchoma, wakabaki na 3. Hiyo ndio wakarudi nayo. Then the first place to stop was South Africa, a place called the Cape of Good Hope. Then they moved along coastal region. Kenya was the last place to stop before sailing to India. So the first place to arrive in Kenya was Mombasa. Bado mnanisikia ama? Okay, sawa. So nilikuwa naendelea kusema the first place for Vasco da Gama to rest was South Africa, a place called the Cape of Good Hope. Then Kenya was the last place to stop before sailing to India. So the first place to arrive in Kenya was Mombasa, but there in Mombasa he was not welcomed by the Sultan of Mombasa, the Arabs who were there. So he was chased there. So he continued with his journey, but reaching here Malindi, he was welcomed by the Sultan of Malindi, the Arabs who were here. That is why he built the pillar and he built the church. So the pillar is the oldest monument in Africa or in East Africa. So this pillar is the oldest monument, and also we have that church, Portuguese chapel. Sijui kama mlipitia huko? Yeah, that is the first church in East Africa. So those were the still existing monument built by the Vasco da Gama. So Vasco da Gama built this pillar. The reason for the pillar is that the pillar was used as a direction. It was acting as a landmark to show direction to India. So when you are here, direction to India is this side here. This direction. Yeah, where the cross is facing. So that is the direction to India. Yeah, here, this place here. This one. So that was the main reason for the pillar. The second reason is that the pillar was a sign of Christianity. That cross showed us that those people, they were Christians. Again, on the other side of that cross, there is a coat of arms for Portuguese. Do you know the coat of arms? The coat of arms is just like a logo. Kama hiyo bachi ya shule yenu. Hiyo ni logo. A coat of arms for Portuguese. Ilikuwa inakaa kama like a cross. And then the logo, the coat of arms for Kenya ni ile iko na simba wawili. Hiyo imeshika mshale hivi. Hiyo ni coat of arms. Sasa kwa ile juu ya ile msalaba, ile side nyingine kuna coat of arms ya Portuguese. Sasa coat of arms ya Portuguese inakaanga kama msalaba. Hiyo kitu inatueleza wao walikuanga the first European to arrive to coastal region of East Africa. So that was another reason why they built the pillar. The third reason is that the pillar was used as a landmark, meaning that this is the end of Indian Ocean. There is no other ocean behind the pillar. So when you go to the side of Kenya, it's now land. What is there is just rivers and lakes. There's no other Indian Ocean like this one on the other side. So the pillar was just like a landmark. So those are another reason is that the pillar was built to give thanks, or it's like giving thanks to the Arabs of Malindi, those who welcomed Vasco da Gama. So I've told you some of the reason why they built the pillar. The first reason was to show direction. The second one, Christianity. The third one, landmark. Then the fourth one, the presence of Portuguese because of the coat of arms. Then the fifth one is just for appreciation for the people of Malindi, the Arabs, because those people, they welcomed them. They share what they were having, like food, medicine, and also weapons, like cannons. I think you saw some of the cannons there in Costa Heritage, there, Ukoju. So that was the main reason why they built the pillar. So Vasco da Gama reached India there. They start trading there in India, but later he returned back with the spices as an evidence that he has now reached India. So Vasco da Gama returned back to Portugal. He was welcomed. He was made an hero because what he has made is what nobody else has done what Vasco da Gama has done. So he was welcomed there because Vasco da Gama sailed from Portugal to India through the sea, whereby we have no other person who have done the same. So Vasco da Gama came here 3 times. For the third time, he died in India. Then he was buried there for around 10 years. Then later now his body was taken back to Portugal. Vasco da Gama was born in 1460 and died in 1524 with an age of 65. So he arrived here with an age of 38. Yeah, around 38 because he arrived here in 1498. So on 1543 is now when Portuguese moved from Malindi to Mombasa to trade there. So we have another monument in Mombasa called Fort Jesus. So Fort Jesus is smaller than this pillar. The pillar is older than Fort Jesus, around 100 years. Yeah. So this one was built in 1498. That one was built in 1593 there. To show us that this is the oldest monument in Mombasa, in Malindi, the pillar now. So after now, those people moved to Mombasa. They start trading there in Mombasa. They left Malindi, they left everything here. But those who occupied later here, they were now European. So most of European died here in Malindi and they were buried there in Portuguese chapel. Even the first museum you started, it was built by somebody called J. Smith, the first European to do business here in Malindi. That person was buried there in Portuguese chapel. So after now Portuguese moved from here, they went to Mombasa, they trade there, they built Fort Jesus. Fort Jesus was a hiding place, it was a trading center, and also it was, I think it was trading center, it was hiding place for Portuguese. So that's a short story of Vasco da Gama.
Okay, we want to take this chance to thank the National Museum, especially the Malindi National Museum, for the invitation, and we are very grateful for the chance they gave us. Again, we want to say that this trip was not useless. It was very informative, educative, not only to the current generation and even the future generation. So we are calling upon each and every other person to get the opportunity to come and visit these sites. Actually, it is a site to behold. You will get to learn a lot of cultures from different communities. We had the privilege of visiting the Vasco da Gama pillar. We've gone to the House of Column. We've seen the Malindi complex, the heritage. We have also got the opportunity to go to the museum itself. So we are very grateful, and this trip was not useless. It was worth, and we continue to encourage you that you also get the chance to come and visit this place. Otherwise, thank you so much, the museum fraternity,
for the invite. Otherwise, thank you so much. Together with me are my pupils and the colleague, Mr. Bulalim, which at least can say something, please.
Okay, I would like to concur with what my colleague, Mr. Sami, has said. The trip was a success. We visited so many areas, and I believe as a social study teacher and my pupils there, we've learned a lot. Personally, I've been hearing about the Vasco da Gama pillar, and I've been teaching pupils about the same. But I've had an opportunity to see it physically, and thank the National Museum for giving us this opportunity. We visited so many areas, starting with the National Museum of Malindi. We've gone to the Columns House. We've gone to the Vasco da Gama pillar and another place. Otherwise, the pupils, especially the grade 6 pupils, have learnt a lot, because there is a topic that talks about the prehistoric, the historic buildings, and they have seen them physically, and they have seen the artifacts that are found in those museums. Otherwise, I want to take this opportunity to thank the school administration and management for giving us an opportunity to explore, and for making this trip a success. Thank you very much.
Stay there, enjoy our meals, enjoy our snacks. Then Mwalimu will organize our means of transport back to school. We shall all live together. Is that clear? Yes. Quiet. And make sure you don't litter the beach. Yes. It is illegal to go with the water bottles to the beach. You know that? Yes. So make sure we go, we put litter somewhere, we collect, and we go back together. So. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm so exhausted. Will you allow me to sit down? I love speaking while I'm standing. It makes me have control over what I'm saying. But I believe you're all exhausted, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, first of all, alhamdulillah, all praise and thanks to the Almighty for enabling us to leave the school and come back safe and sound. We had gone for an educational trip, and I do believe we have benefited, or we have gained something from our leaving the school in the morning to coming back. Is that so? Yes. Is that so? Yes. So whatever it is that you've learned, whatever it is that you've gained, please put it into practice and let it be of help to you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Yes, I just want to thank Allah. He has guided us from morning. We went walking. We didn't have any incident or accident. I thank most of you who are easy to control. Most of you behaved well, and I would like you to continue with the same spirit, except for a few who are misbehaving here and there, talking when the tour guides are talking, or walking slowly in groups while the others are a bit fast. But that one is normal. I know most of you are not used to walking. Now, I want to take this opportunity to thank the school administration in conjunction with our deputy here for making the day a success. I know I'm one of the people who have always been praying that we get a day like this, go out and learn the things we learn in class. I know when we see things, seeing is believing. When you see things that you learned in class, it becomes easier for you now to understand even better. So I want to challenge you and encourage you and reiterate what Mr. Said said, and Madam Mercy. Whatever you learned there, let us put it into practice. I believe I had prepared a questionnaire for you, and I told you to ask as many questions as possible. I believe you did so, and you've got answers to those questions, especially the grade 6 pupils. Those, I gave you guiding questions that were supposed to really help you, and I believe you benefited from the whole process. Otherwise, I want to thank the school, the school administration, the school management, and I also want to thank all of you for being part of it, of the trip. And in future, when we organize other trips, I want you to behave the same way or even in a better way. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Before I call upon Ustad to make the dua for us, we started with the dua and we should end with the dua. Thank you, thank you. In general, I'd like to congratulate you. I would really like to congratulate you. We managed to be, our discipline, I would say, was 90%. Very good. Apart from those small few incidents here and there. Something else that stood out amongst ourselves, within ourselves, for all of us, is the essence of sharing. The sharing part. I could see people sharing kachiri, crackles, ice cream, nina. That one, it really caught my heart. I was so moved by that. People were eating as brothers and sisters. Mpaka, the last time I ate Pringles was, what do I call it? Pringles. Not crackles. Crackles I eat every day. Pringles, the last time I ate them was in 2016, if I'm not wrong. Today, somebody from Noya came and gave me a and I started salivating. It was so sweet. The element of sharing stood out. Very good. Takbir for that. Can we maintain? That is the Islamic brotherhood, the sisterliness that we should always encourage. And wherever we are, let us be out and stand out, be our brother's keeper. We should always be there for each other. Not all of us managed to come with the snacks, as we said, but all of us went and we have all eaten something, isn't it? Kuna hajakula kitu hapa jamaa? Nobody. Why? Because of the sharing. Wewe kwanza hata ndio na bakura wewe. Ustad, please, from here, go have your lunch. Have your lunch. After lunch, if you're taking it outside, I'm in a dining hall, back to class. We've made the school very quiet. I don't want to hear Ustad Basmale group yenu, you've come back with it and the school was in chaos. Go have your lunch, go back to class quietly. Is that clear? Thank you so much. Ustad, do it.